And it's an opportunity for us to recruit more from illicit by having good policies, which we advocate and work with the government to ensure that they have good policies and also enforcement.
Wow. Thank you, Eric, for setting the stage on that perspective. And now the main question then comes: really, what are the major drivers for illicit trade? What makes it thrive? Because year on year keeps on increasing. What are the main drivers of illicit trade, really?
The reality number one is affordability. And legitimate alcohol has reached to a level where people cannot afford. Now, maybe let me tell you the mindset of a consumer. So there are various types of consumer. There is the top tier class. When you make things affordable, expensive, they'll definitely be able to afford it. You'll find them in the country clubs. They are blessed. They are less than the 1%.
The top tier clubs.
Tier clubs.
Yeah.
So you'd find for such a consumer, the elasticity bit, price elasticity won't really affect. Now, there is a lot of also the middle class. Now, you'd find when it comes to the share of the wallet of the consumer, if the consumer has a budget of, let's say, 10,000 shillings per month on entertainment, if the prices have been increased because of the high excise tax rates, you'd find the consumer has two options. Either, number one, reduce the consumption occasions. So if you consume every Saturday and your budget is 2,500 per Saturday, so you'd say maybe I'll skip and consume the other. And most consumers, what they choose, they will still say my budget is this amount of money and I will drink anything that is per the budget.
Yes.
So you find even per categories. For example, if somebody is drinking a vodka, they will say vodka is vodka. So they will stop drinking the high-end vodka. They can only afford this vodka, which is in the mainstream category. And they that's what they do. And reason, again, is consumers would want to meet because they're social human beings. Some people meet to discuss business. Some people meet to just network and build their social capital. And that's why it's usually important. The place actually of the bars and restaurants are actually places where people meet, interact, and it's healthy. We realized during COVID actually how important it is for people to just meet and interact and have a good time together. Now, there is the other value consumer because the mainstream or the middle class has moved to the value segment. Because, when you say vodka is vodka, they move to the value.
Yeah.
Even in that move, the government is losing. While excise might be per liter dependent on a category, but the VAT element, you can imagine VAT is a percentage of the total price.
Yes.
So if there is a shift to a value product, the government is losing the VAT element. Now, what is even more concerning is because there are people who cannot afford. So the person who's consuming value, a value brand, now they have no option. So their only option is to go to a lower priced item.
Yes.
And at that point, you'd find that for some of them, they even say that alcohol is alcohol. Now, because of that, and that's the majority of Kenyans, the current situation, majority of Kenyans are actually trying to hustle by the day. And when you meet them in those social setup, they're actually trying to do business. They're trying to, you'll find a plumber. If you're a new plumber and you want to go to a new estate or a new town, that's when you meet the foreman. That's when you know where you can get your daily bread. Now you find most of them now have moved to cheapies. And cheapies are things that, for example, you'd find that a product is being sold at less than 150 shillings and it's a spirit. Yet, the taxation element of it for a 250 ml, you cannot produce. You cannot pay all the taxes. You cannot have cost of distribution. You cannot have and be able to sell it at 150. In some market I've seen, it's been sold at 120 shillings. But now to the consumer, they don't have an option because ABAC members will price their item at maybe 260 shillings, 250 to 70. But here there's a 120 shillings. There's a 105 shilling. So for a consumer, they'd rather buy that.
Yeah.